And with that spark of moral motivation, our hero Ryan decided to go look around for anything useful that can be used for the fight to come and help his poor friend. Back to Lehington, he was actually doing a tad bit well for someone who was facing against 3 men. But unfortunately, that last stand mindset had to fail somewhere, and he was starting to tire out. And with that, Miss Glass suddenly appeared out of nowhere. I assume that you have neutralized the young boy. Don't worry, guys. I managed to scare the weak one away. While everyone was talking around, Rosalind jumped out of nowhere and tried his best to stab Lehington in order to appeal to saving Atticus's hide from a potentially dangerous man. Unfortunately, Lehington jumped at the last moment out of the way, and unfortunately Rosalind stabbed the one person with whom he was trying to save. Atticus, And with that, poor Rosalind went into a blind rage and turned into a super monster thing, while the 2 spectating dragons were looking really happy about this. The poor Rosalind kid then went on a berserk frenzy, attacking all of his allies and enemies alike, but mostly his allies, since obviously Lehington was the only one that was the enemy at the time. By the great horn, I'm gonna make you pay for what you have done! And with that, Rosalind lifted up his bionicle arm, ready to strike down the poor Lehington with one blow in order to finish off his foe. When all of a sudden, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss! And with that unusual Bible verse, Ryan appeared out of nowhere with his ill-gotten weapon, a jar full of mysterious yellow liquid that he chucked at the monstrous creature before him, about to harm his poor friend. If you were listening to the Bible verse, I guess you can kind of guess what was inside that jar to begin with. Tee-hee! Is this? Oh my! Ah! And with that, Ryan ran to save his compadre, while the monster raged and raged and raged, and the poor young volunteer had to go drag his comrade to a nearby location, while he listened to the monster shout threats of death and even worse. Ah! I'm gonna strangle you with me bare hands! Ryan, did you really throw... No! That was just rotten pickle juice. I don't know what he's so worked up about. I thought that quote was cool. The monster raged on and rampaged through the city, seeing Ryan's face on most everything in his vision. Fortunately, though, the Sweepers Inc. were called in order to subdue this monster, and so Ryan, being the only person of the match to be still standing, was declared the winner, surprisingly. But his more concern was for his poor friend Lehington, as he dragged him along into the hospital, knowing full well that the events to happen won't be so light on his luck. He knows very well that much bad stuff might happen in the future, so he has to think of a way to get out of this tournament as soon as possible. The end!